working group that established the Climate Forum was established by the Zero Carbon Nelson Tasman with the support of Nelson City Council and others. And that working group was made up of people from environmental organisations, from both councils, from business, from primary industry, from academia, and we came up with a draft of this document. But at that time, just before the launch of the forum, although that group had 2 Māori members, it had no iwi representatives, and the document as drafted didn't sufficiently honour Te Tiriti o Waitangi, among other things. And so we felt that it needed more work, and the coordination group of the forum that was established just after its launch included those iwi representatives. We are lucky enough to have 3 in the coordination group. And the coordination group was charged with finding a pathway forwards, noting the huge stretch on iwi capacity with the huge amount of work that they have to get done. We were lucky enough to engage with the Kaitiaki o Te Taio practitioners group, and in a recent meeting that pathway was proposed, and it has 2 stages. The coordination group approved this on your behalf, and this is the first stage today. This is the document that you've seen as you came in, that the coordination group is very happy to recommend that the forum adopts today as our charter. And really it sets out a purpose. It has a focus on alignment, on support, cooperation, healing, sharing. It sets out a commitment that's based on a shared understanding. The commitment is about how we work. It's about the role of the forum to enable, empower and support through our weaving plan, and the outcomes that we want for our region. That have been tackled in part through the creation of this climate action book you saw just before. So this is the first stage that I'm really excited to be part of today. The second stage will be an iwi-led process that rewrites the whole thing, keeping its intent from a Te Ao Māori perspective. We expect this will take a year or 2 to complete, and we didn't want to wait that long. So we were delighted to have the approval of the coordination group and the Kaitiaki o Te Taio group to proceed with this first iteration. Goodness. So the first job for us today really is to consider that recommendation, to approve this charter, and then to consider which type of membership we as individuals or as organisations that we are wanting to represent might want to sign for. There are 3 levels of commitment and responsibility outlined in the Charter. You could choose to be a signatory, which involves active leadership on the weaving plan, and contains with it the decision-making authority on things like the Climate Action Book. You could choose to be a partner organisation, which is about support of that work and contribution. Or you could choose to be a climate ally, which is about personal action and participation. So any of those are very, very welcome in the forum. So, I guess it's a moment, isn't it? Having had a chance to read through this, what is effectively an alignment document. It's a common ground document. This is a place where we can hang our hats as a forum and say, this is what we stand for, this is what we do, this is who we are, this is why we're here. We can use it as a guidepost for all of the things we choose to do from here on. We can use it as an assessment tool to say, does this idea that I've had fit with what I have committed to do and why. So there are plenty of benefits of having it. But as we've seen over the last year, we've managed without it. So, it's over to you. Is there anybody here who has strong concerns about approving this charter in its current form, as it's for the first iteration of the Nelson Tasman Climate Form Charter?
Yes.
Okay.
The print's too small.
Thank you. There's an accessibility question. And then,
just question of clarification. So, partner organisations can be organisations can be signatories, not just individuals. That's right?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for clarifying that.
And maybe another clarification, it's talking about the weaving plan and the operating procedures in the forum. I know nothing about where that's at. It might be just helpful just to...
Thank you. I should have already said that. I appreciate you asking. These are the three key documents that are mentioned in the Charter. The Climate Action Plan, which we are looking at later. The Weaving Plan, which I've mentioned a couple of times and we'll hear more about later. And the operational procedures, which are still a draft that the working group worked on a year and a half ago. If you are signing the Charter today as a signatory, you will be part of the decision-making process that approves all three of those documents as they arrive. Of course, the forum always works towards consensus, which involves everybody in the room. But if need be, if a vote is needed, then it's taken among the signatories to the Charter. So as it stands, none of those three documents yet exist. And choosing to be a signatory today gives you that decision-making authority on how they look and what's approved on behalf of us all. Any other questions or clarification? Please.
I find it very difficult to comment when I'm presented with a climate action plan, which implies some kind of action, and a weaving plan, which also implies some kind of action. What's the difference?
Thank you. Very important question. And I tell you, it's taken us a year to figure out the answer to that question. The Climate Action Plan is what we...
So now comes the fun bit. There's a little bit of technology involved, so brace yourselves. You'll see on your name tags there's a little QR code, that spotty square thing. If you happen to have a smartphone on you, that is the best way to sign the digital version of our charter. So what we're aiming for here is a list of everyone that we can keep up to date who has signed the charter. It will record whether you've signed as a partner organisation, a signatory or a climate ally, and we'll take your email address so we can keep you up to date with what's going on in the forum. So scan that if you've got a phone on you and just go through and just complete that little form. There's hard copies of the charter out the front if you haven't already got one. You can also read it on your phone through the wonders of technology. If you're not a smartphone user, no problem at all. DJ's got some sheets that he's going to hand around with some pens. So if you could hand those around now, that'd be fantastic. Thank you, DJ. And you can write down your name, tick which level you'd like to sign at, and we'll collect those up at the end. Once you've done either the digital version or filled out the form in this room, we'll then ask you to file through that door at the back there, and you'll see there's a really big, long, ceremonial charter document for you to sign your name on the line and write your name as well, nice and legibly, so we can have that really special ceremonial charter, which we'll then hopefully be able to display in different places around our regions to get other people involved in this really, really important conversation and action. So, are there any questions about that process? Yes.
I can't write.
We can get someone to help you. I think Joanna, who's sitting right beside you, will help you with that.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make one other point too, which is that some of you may be here representing organisations that are not ready to sign yet. You've got your internal processes that take a bit of time, and that is fine. It's great because this charter signing is just the beginning of an ongoing process. This beautiful ceremonial document will be here at every face-to-face that we have going forward, and anybody, any organisation will be able to sign online as well. So if today is not the right day for you, but you would like to sign in the future, then I'm still very, very glad that you're here.